Shalom, Yasharala. This is your brother Dawah Daw from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth with sincerity on the four corners of the earth. Alright, I'm going to jump into this here quick lesson dealing with the love you should be having for your brethren, you know. You need to, have a fervent love for your brethren. Your brethren shouldn't lack anything around you, So with that, we're going to just jump right on into it. This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 12. It says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend." All right? And so, no greater love than a man that laid his life down for his friend, I mean, to death, that's the ultimate thing, Like, hey, man, only one of us can make it out, You go ahead, I'm going to stay back, and that's just going to be it. That's the ultimate love, But at the same time, there's a whole lot lighter into that, your brethren going through some stuff here or there, and, they might be a little low on their funds or something like this and that, And, you might be up on your funds, or you may have access to be able to get some money or something like that to be able to lend to your brethren or something to get him out of his predicament, But if you sit there and you let your brethren, fall or go down or something like that, then that ain't really no real brethren, You pretty much got to lay down your own life, even if, hey, you might have to go borrow some money, which may have you fucked up, Or, you might want to, not necessarily saying, you don't want to be irresponsible, your rent due tomorrow, and you go and you loan out to your brethren all your rent money, and now you evicted. Now y'all both kind of on the side of the road. That's not really wise. But at the same time, if you've been put in that position to be able to help one of your brethren, to lay down your life for them, more or less to say, or things in your life, or the comfort of your own life, because like I said, I mean, you can have an abundance of money in your bank account for the time being, and your brother might need, let's say, $100, and you got $900 in your savings account, and then you got all your bills taken care of. Well, that $900 is going to sit into your bank account until you get your next paycheck, and it's not really going to hurt if you have $100 taken out of there until you get your next paycheck. So, why not just go ahead and, take care of your brother, So back at John 15 and 12, this is the commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Okay? You have to, like the scripture said, give up your life, but also the things that's less than your own life, give up your own things, your own comfort or certain things like that. You might, let's say you might, any kind of scenario, you might not want to, I don't know, you might be uncomfortable doing certain things, but hey, sometimes it might just be like, hey man, I got to sit here and tuck whatever it is I got to tuck just to, I don't know how to put it, in any kind of example, or I might not like this, but I got to take the low road, You go ahead and take this, or let's say you and your friend, he got a fucked up car that's keep breaking down this and that, and you got a good running car, you don't have to go to work today, but your friend has to go to work and he's running late already. You're like, I don't want to take your old fucked up ass car, but I don't have to go to work. So if I have to go anywhere, it's just to the store. I'm not in that much of a hassle. You need to get to work so you don't get fired and fuck up everything else. I'm going to go ahead and let you borrow my car, even though I don't like driving your fucked up ass car, So that's more or less, in a sense, like laying down your life, laying down your comfort zone, stepping out of your own zone to help out your brother. That's love for your brother. Yeah, I don't like doing this shit, but I mean, you my peoples, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to let that shit happen to you like that, And when you look off in the world, you do this, with your so-called homeboys and homies and stuff like that anyway, How much more for the men of the Lord and the men that's in this truth, It says like, it says, this is the commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Look what Yahushua did for us. He didn't gave up his whole life and all the things he did for us that we may be joint heirs with him, I mean, we know that the Most High put a plan forth, and there's no deviating from that plan, but, hypothetically, in a sense, Yahushua could be like, yo, bro, I don't want none of y'all to be ruling with me. I'm going to do this on my own because y'all don't want to do this with me, so whatever, But no, he says, look, love one another as I've loved you. Look, the Most High done gave me all of this stuff, and I'm about to break bread with y'all. I'm about to help y'all, lift y'all up and all this, do all these things for y'all. The least you can do is this. You know what I'm saying? I done went and died and got mocked and scoffed. The least you can do is go get your brother something to eat. He's starving over there, man. This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 14. Verse 13. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. Okay? For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. All right? So basically, now when it says love thy neighbor is as you love thyself, Now this ain't talking about how the Christians break it down, The real question to that is, who is your neighbor? Just take the scriptures away and just ask a cardinal question. Who the fuck is your neighbors? Because contrary to popular belief, America is very segregated. You have a so-called black neighborhood, a so-called white neighborhood, a so-called Hispanic neighborhood, and a so-called Asian neighborhood. Most people, now I ain't saying it in everybody's neighborhood is like this, but because there are some people, like some Jakes, some so-called black people who on their left side and on their right side is Edomites, and that's not talking about them, but it's talking about, in a general sense, like today we live just like we used to live back in the days, like in Israel, we used to live according to our tribes. So we live, and today you would say a so-called black neighborhood, the so-called Judites will live amongst the Judites around their tribe, the Gadites will live amongst the Gadites, all right? But the children of Israel all lived amongst each other, So, again, just like today, love that, let me see, it says, for all the law is fulfilled in one word, even this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Okay? The neighbor is talking about fellow Israelites. Not only that, it's also talking about, like how Yahushua said, who is my mother and my father? Okay? My mother and my father is, and my brother and my sister are those who do the work, basically do the will of the Most High, So, you're going to be in a Jake, more or less, not everybody lives, not all Jake live in Jake neighborhoods. You have some Jake live in different neighborhoods where they might, like I said, live with Edomites, but nevertheless, and again, it's not necessarily talking about the people living next to you. It's talking about your people. And mainly, we talking to the men of the Lord, we mainly talking about the other men of the Lord, So it's not necessarily talking about these 2/3, you got to go out there and be loving up on these 2/3 because they finna get destroyed anyway. And they really your adversaries at this point in time, So that's not what that's talking about. It's basically talking about, your own brethren, So for a prime example, the camp leader of the camp that I'm in now, he lives, like, we go and we preach in the downtown St. Pete, okay? Our camp leader lives, I believe, like an hour and a half to 2 hours north from where we preach at. Now I live about an hour and a half, about 45 minutes, hour and 45 minutes south from where we are. And we have another brother that lives about 45 minutes south from where I live, all right? So none of us really live close to one another, all right? But we all more or less neighbors, okay? And the neighbors being, first of all, we Israelites, and we, on one accord in this truth, all right? So if I see my brethren lacking of something, and the Most High, especially if the Most High didn't bless me with something, you know what I'm saying? Especially like if He didn't bless me with something more than what I need, then what the hell? What you mean I'm not going to, break bread with my brethren? That's my brethren. Like, because I can be in the tables can be turned around. And you be in that, like, damn, bro. I mean, you do got $160 million. Like, I mean, all I need to borrow is $5. Like, damn, it's that much. When people make statements like that, like, all I needed was a ride from here to there. All I needed was a jump starter. You act like that's too much. You don't ever want to be in no position like that. And I look at a lot of things in my own life like that. Like, I only really need the things that I need, and a lot of the times, the Most High might bless me with a little more than what I need, So, for example, I don't, if the Most High blessed me with a 20-piece of chicken wings, right? Now, I'm not going to eat all 20 pieces of chicken because I'll be full before I even get through the whole damn thing at this one point in time. But I see my brother beside me, and I'm like, bruh, like, no, I'm going to just eat what I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat the 10 to 15 I'm going to eat. I'm going to throw the rest away. Now, hell no. I'm like, yo, man, the Most High blessed me with enough money to buy more than what I needed, and then, or they done gave me more than what I needed, and you hungry too, like, it should be a bad feeling to you to sit there and be eating in somebody else's face, like, especially your brethren. You got and they don't got, you inside in the dry and they outside in the rain, or you riding by and they out there walking in the snow. That should be a fucked up feeling. And you know, look back at King David, man, in the beginning. You know, when man, I think it's 2 Samuel chapter 7, I believe it is. You know, when he's talking to Nathan, and David is like, man, I want to build the Most High a house. Why he wanted to do that? You know, because he was looking around. He was like, yo, you took me from the sheepcote to ruling over Israel. I wasn't shit, and you gave me all of this. I got way more than what I need. You know, I got an abundance of shit. You know, I got a palace over here, and I got a palace over there. I got this, and I got that. Like, let me build a temple for the Most High. Let me build a house for him. Like, let me try to give back to him who put me on. You know, let me try to break bread with him. You know, and the Most High really saw that. Was like, damn. Like, I'm always blessing and giving everybody else something, you know, blessing everybody else and giving them stuff. Ain't nobody else ever thought to try to give me something like that. You know, they only want to give me something if they done fucked up and they got to try to atone for themselves. But, you know, and the Most High was like, nah, bro, like, I don't really need no house or nothing like that. But since it was in your heart to do something like that for me, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like, go back and read 2 Samuel chapter 7. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to grab my next precept, but since I just said that, let me just make sure so I don't give you the wrong scripture. 2 Samuel chapter 7. Yeah, this is 2 Samuel chapter 7. Yeah, go ahead and read this here through, and you'll see, you know, basically why the Most High did all the things he did for King David, you know? I mean, not just that, you know, I mean, hey, it's the Most High's choice who he want to choose and what he want to do with whoever he want to do it with, you know? But this is a prime example. You see the character of David, you know? When David was up on top, you know, and man, it was just a beautiful thing, man. David understood, like, yo, man, I wasn't shit, bro. I had all these other brothers who was way better than me, and this and that. I was just a little young nigga always working all the goddamn time, and this and that. You chose me to be the king? You know what I'm saying? The least I could do is try to uplift everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Try to break bread with everybody else, you know? Let me grab my next scripture. Oh, damn, we in the book of Samuel. Let's get the first book of Samuel, though. This is 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 3. Speaking about David and Jonathan. All right. This is 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 3. And Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. Okay. Now, this is a prime example, okay, of one brother loving another brother. All right. And they weren't necessarily neighbors. All right. So now Saul, or Jonathan, was the son of Saul. And Saul, I believe, was a Benjamite, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I think he was a Benjamite, all right? Now, King David, he was from the tribe of Judah, all right? So, you know, again, like when you go back into, I believe it's in the book of Leviticus, they'll tell you how the tribes were supposed to set up, you know, pitch their tents. And then they also, when they got their land, they showed you where they would be at, you know? And so, now King David I believe he did live either in the palace with Saul at one point in time, or around the area, because he would always be in the palace playing the harp for Saul and coming in and out, you know, he was real close to the family, you know. But David and Jonathan had, had a relationship, you know, not no homosexual relationship, because, you know, there's some Christians who come out with some shit like that, you know, and we know David was a man of the Lord, a man after the Most High's heart. David know the commandments. He know that a homosexual is supposed to be put to death. Come on now, that's just counterintuitive. Like, it don't take a 2-year-old to break that shit down. But however, it's just like in the world, when you got your, you know, in the world, Jake will call him my road dog. Oh, that's my, hey bro, that's my homie from the sandbox. Oh, that's my partner though. You know, hey, that's a real one. You know, that's my rider right there. You know, that's my, hey man, that's my blood right there. You know, when you have those type of friends and those type of categories, y'all go through thick and thin. You know, y'all love each other like that's your own soul. You like, nah, fuck that. I ain't gonna let nobody ride on my homie. I don't give a fuck what's going on. When you get in that type of spirit like that amongst one of your so-called friends in the world, that's basically what it's talking about. Love your neighbor as your own soul. But now, again, we're talking about the men of the Lord that's in the truth with one another. All right, this is how you're supposed to have that fervent love for them. You know, and even if you've never even really met these brethren, you know, like man, hell, you know, and man, like. Man, the men of GMS, man, it's so beautiful, though. You know, you go from state to state or whatever, camp to camp, you might not even know these brothers, like, by name or whatever. You might just know their face or something like that, you know, from this or that. But when you come around these brothers or these brothers come around you, it's just as if y'all was actual brothers. Like, oh, nah, see, we basically all soldiers for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, or the children, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, yo, man, we all got that brotherly love for one another. Like, we all on one accord. Oh, hey, I know you fighting for your how about Shim Yahweh. You my brother. And I know that I don't really, actually, how I say, know you on a first name basis, you know what I'm saying? Or actually know you like that. But since we down for the same cause, not just the same carnal cause or whatever, but this is the fervent love. We was commanded for this, And if we cheat anybody, the Most High is going to see that. And that's just between you and him, But nevertheless, you got to do your due diligence. And these are your brethren, They out there putting their life on the line for you, These brethren, man, and that's why I always think about this and these other brethren. Before any of these brethren even knew me, and a lot of the men of GMS, I ain't nobody like that. So I ain't saying, oh, these brothers don't even know me. I'm supposed to be somebody. Not saying that, but, these brothers don't really know me or nothing like that. But the fact of the matter is that they love me enough, even when they still don't know me, but beforehand putting those videos up and those epistles up to raise me up, to build me up, that was some real love, They could have been going out fucking around on the weekends and doing whatever, not putting videos up, then my soul still would have been out there, like, yearning for the truth, I still would have been out there, been lost, But these brothers dedicated their life to raising me up, And not just saying that selfishly, but any of you brothers, Like right now, I'm putting up a video right now. I don't know who's actually watching these videos like that, I don't know who's going to stumble across this here video, but this is the love that, that we have for you to seal your, to, how do you say, basically to baptize you, bring you back to the law, statutes, commandments, And Lord willing that you be a part of that number that receive salvation. This is the love that we have for you right now, And you don't really know a lot of the things that a lot of the brothers are doing behind the scenes in order to get these videos up. A lot of the times we all have technical difficulties where we'll be recorded. Like in my sense, my video, I'll be recording, my video will get corrupted. Some brothers be doing live streams and the live stream get cut off, or they'll record a 2-hour-long video, which this shit happened to me too, and the whole video get corrupted. Or you go to upload it and it get lost somewhere. It's no longer on your whatever device you have and it's not on the internet, All these different things. And so you have to go back and go do another video, After doing a 2-hour-long sit-down or something like that and it don't get uploaded, you don't just be like, all right, well, fuck them niggas anyway. No, you be like, damn, this shit sucks, but we got to do this work. I got a brother out there that need to hear this, His soul is crying out for this. So, and the Most High had to provide me with this to give back to you. He didn't give me this to sit here and hold it. It's like the talents. He didn't give me the talent. He didn't give me no money to put in my pocket. Nah, he gave me money to go out there and flip it, make something work with it, Let me grab, I got another scripture, and I got 2 more we can close out. New Testament. This is the book of John, chapter 13. Verse 13, verse 34. A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you, and that you also love one another. So we just read that, Now, verse 35, all right? So the command was given that we should love one another, all right? But verse 35, by this shall men know that you are my disciples, if you have love one to another, all right? So, people will be able to see it's going to be that so-called light or that glow that's going off you because of the love that you have for one another, Man, when you see let a camp already be a symbol, on highways and the byways, and let's say a brother running late or something, or a brother just walking up to camp, or you have the brother that's on the outside of the camp that's watching you, and they walking up the block. Man, you should see the brother's smiles get all big, they start saluting. That's some real love, man. Hey, man, I'm happy to see you out here eating at the table of the Lord, brother. I'm happy to see you this weekend, brother. Me personally, I get super charged up, by the middle of the week. I'm saying? I'm so damn beat down from the damn devil and all this crazy ass hell and shit like that, And when we have our conference call, just the voice of hearing my brother's voice, man, that shit just, man, it's crazy. And to be able to, man, it's just crazy. Watching videos, any of the brother videos. As soon as I hear, there's certain brothers I can just hear the sound of their voice, because, I listen on my phone with the headphones on, so a lot of times I don't see the screen, and it'll just, go from video to video. First line I hear that brother, any brother's voice, the first time it's just, it's straight love. Like, man, my brother out there, hey man, he trying to help me out right now. You know what I'm saying? He going diligent. He going hard, on fire, and he diligent for this. Like the brother Ariella. I don't really want to call any names or anything like that to, But anyway, the brother Ariella, all the research and the stuff that he does for these algorithms and stuff like that, man, that brother be going hard. And like I said, you know, I like all that type of stuff, the military, the technology, all that kind of stuff, and knowing about all that type of stuff, you know. But the fact of the matter is, I don't have the amount of time to go in it as deep as that brother's going into it. But we many members, but one body. You see, the Most High got him out there doing that, you know, and he might be the only one out of the whole camp that has that one talent, you know, whereas the other brothers might have a talent in something different, but they come together as one body. Now, that one brother is feeding, you know, and there's the brother out in London, you know, they come together and they feed, you know, the whole house of David, you know. So, I mean, it's just a beautiful thing because they love us, you know. They get together and do all this research and all these, man, you see the brother's page, he's got all these different tabs open and all this shit he had to go through and read. He ain't do this for his own self. He did it because he loved us, you know. Like Yahushua loved us. Yahushua went through all of that because he loved us. And so, how much more of us? Let me grab this one last one before I get cut off. I got 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. I'm going to run through it real quick. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren, be pitiful and courteous, not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but counterwise, blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that you should inherit a blessing. You know? Like, don't be going back and forth with your brother and stuff like that. That's your brother, man. You're supposed to, you know, squash whatever you can squash. You know what I'm saying? For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and let his lips that speak no guile. Let him eschew evil, but do good. Let him seek peace and ensure it. All right? And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Like I said, I'm pushing up against the time limit. But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. Double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well and taught me this truth. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, that's pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. I really mean that. Stay strong. Shalom.